Hello, everyone. This is our submission for the Gitcoin Make It Mobile Hackathon. Our team is Green Deeds, and it's a mobile application where you can turn your cans, bottles, and food waste into Celo. My name's Anthony Dutra, and I am presenting on behalf of the team. And my other team members that are part of this project are Brittany Deventer as well as Shane Treadway. The United States has quite the growing waste problem for quite some time now. The World Bank, back in 2017, reported that the country with the third largest population has the most trash. More specifically, 258 million tons of municipal solid waste, better known as garbage. To put this into comparison, the country with the largest world population, China, produced 210 million tons of waste that year. Obviously, for a smaller population size, we're producing a lot of trash. And the story is the same today. Most recent studies done by the EPA found out that a lot of that growing amount of trash, 75% more precisely, is recyclable. However, we're only recycling 30% of that. Worse yet, the majority or quite a bit of this waste is food waste. Nearly 22 million tons is waste sitting in our landfills of food that we scraped off our plates. Some might be interested to know that there are no national laws in the United States that mandate recycling in order to combat this growing waste problem. It's actually left up to each state or local government to introduce their own recycling requirements to each citizen. In the next slide, what we're going to do is take a 10,000 step foot view of what recycling looks like today in the US. So, for those who are familiar with the typical trash day, right, you can take your bottles and cans, either put them in the trash bin themselves or sort them out into recycling bins. And when you put them out on trash day, the truck comes around and picks up your trash. This is a service that we pay through our taxes, and whether you're an individual, a restaurant, or a supermarket, that is the same for all of us. Now, in select states, they do offer for plastic bottles as well as aluminum cans some small refund of cash, usually just a couple cents, when you return those used cans and bottles to what are called reverse vending machines. So in my state that I live in of Massachusetts, on my soda cans and bottles that I have, it shows a price, 5 cents, for each of the cans that I go bring to one of these reverse vending machines that are sitting at a local business. Most likely, and the one that I used was a liquor store. So I take my empty bottles and cans to the reverse vending machine at that liquor store, and I insert them into the machine itself. At the end, the machine calculates the total amount of US dollars that I would be getting back for returning those cans, recycling them, and prints me out a ticket. That ticket is then used to be exchanged for US dollars, but for a fee at the store hosting that reverse vending machine. So the incentive to recycle for an individual, for a business, is pretty low, and it takes quite a bit of effort when I can just throw it all away. And obviously, local governments, smart to the growing waste problem, are now enforcing penalties to try and meet pretty audacious goals to reduce waste by a small amount of time. What they do in places like Austin, Texas, or San Francisco is basically force their businesses to purchase different composting bins, regulating them and sort of telling them you have to separate particular food waste, and really extenuating their already busy processes in order to try and combat this food waste problem, right? They're not incentivizing them, they're penalizing them. So in order to really take advantage of any of this, you don't have much of a choice whether you're an individual or a restaurant or a small business. And when it comes to food spoilage, that 22 million tons that is sitting in the U.S. landfills, there really isn't much that we're doing with it today. Unless an individual knows or voluntarily wants to separate their food waste and put it into either their personal composting pile or take advantage of services that will pick up this compost and send it to places like hog farms for feed and community gardens, again, for composting overall. So cans and bottles, right? There is some form of refund in select states in order to receive some money for recycling. There are penalties in many other states and counties where they're mainly attacking businesses as well as select properties in order to ensure that they are reducing waste by a particular year. And then food waste itself is really up to the individual, the business themselves to do something about. And there are other blockchain services at that enterprise level that you see on the screen here, such as Gooder, that are working in tandem with supermarkets to change and exchange that waste into value. And that is something that we are looking to do through Green Deeds, is really gamifying and making that recycling process better for everyone and a lot less complicated. So we asked ourselves a question: how do we better incentivize recycling and make it a process that is easy and fun for everybody to do? So the first thing we did through this Green Deeds platform is make it open to everyone. Obviously, make it mobile, right? So you'll see in the following demo the ability of a user to authenticate their wallets and start a gamification process of recycling. Through them doing these particular green deeds and recycling, they are then offered an incentive. And what better incentive than the Celo stablecoin? And it is really the no-brainer cryptocurrency of choice for an application such as this. And finally, how we're incentivizing through this application users and sort of promoting this new green crypto economy is by allowing other blockchain technology integrations, for example, Uniswap, to then change that Celo into other cryptocurrencies on that same technology, right? So literally what you're doing is turning your cash from recyclables into cryptocurrency or Celo. And the recycling tomorrow with Green Deeds is going to instead remove the majority of those complexities and now offer benefits to both individuals as well as businesses, both restaurants and supermarkets alike. So for an individual, what this program is basically an incentive program to recycle, where they unlock Celo from the faucet based off of a green deed that they complete and validate. For larger organizations such as restaurants and businesses, restaurants and supermarkets, right, businesses, this offers a digital proof on the blockchain of their green efforts, which we may want to, in the future, look to exchange for other incentives, right? And this is a way to sort of track in unison with their current waste management process and not get in that way. And what you have, and you see on the bottom there, is basically just much of sort of the tracking that is done through the blockchain itself. So this is a video of the demo of the Green Deeds mobile application. Brittany did a fantastic job going through screen by screen on the demo to show the functionalities and much of what was developed during this hackathon. But for this presentation, I won't go through it. I would suggest you go on YouTube and take a look at what was designed and developed out during this hackathon process. But on this slide here, I'll give a high-level recap of everything from that video. So basically, a user will log into Green Deeds, authenticate their wallets as well as other blockchain-based applications, and then proceed to taking on one of the green deeds presented in the application itself. So, for example, if you were to do a recycling deed, you would take 10 bottles to the closest store with a reverse vending machine and upload a picture of that ticket that you were given. Right? We can use in production technologies like AWS Textract to pull the unique information from that ticket and really make that digitized into a cryptocurrency, right? So after you have uploaded that validation of that green deed, you are then given access to the Celo faucet, which grants you some reward. From there, users can use Uniswap to then exchange that for other Celo-based coins on the network. Future iterations down the line, what we would like to do and also incorporate are things like vaulting, right? So users now only receive that reward, but are given the option to vault it and loan it out. And the creation of a black gold cryptocurrency, right? As we're talking much about the food waste example, that can turn into compost, which varies in price in USD per bucket. And that has its own value in itself. So the creation of a particular type of currency could be possible through this, just the simple use of this application right off the bat. So, in summary, what we have with Green Deeds is a mobile application that is solving a growing waste problem in the United States. States and local governments are left to their own basically systems to deal with the growing recycling issue, while some offer incentives in the form of small US dollar, right, cents. Others are really penalizing businesses as well as taking a much more harsh approach to managing the recycling problem we have here in the United States. Green Deeds is the solution and to this problem and is an innovative mobile application basically seeking to solve the waste problem plaguing this nation, right? So we want to promote through it a green crypto economy, creating rewards centered and based in a stable coin cryptocurrency such as Celo after doing a task and validating that task on our mobile platform. So we're promoting this green crypto economy around this reward based system. And this app, quite literally, which I think is the coolest thing, you can turn your recyclables into the Celo cryptocurrency and then exchange it for any other coin based within that family. So what we were able to create within this small amount of time is basically everything that we believe will be the next revolution in recycling in the United States today. I appreciate everybody for taking the time to view our presentation as well as our demo, and we hope to be recycling more soon.